Hey guys, Simon here from Record Collector's Paradise. We just got a collection of some Deep Purple records in from a collector who loved all things Deep Purple, including side projects such as Whitesnake and Rainbow. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple of the highlights here. So here's a copy of their first album, Shades of Deep Purple. This is a UK pressing and a reissue with some cool alternative artwork. We also have a copy of their second album, Book of Taliesin. This is a UK pressing from 1971 in really great shape. And then we have copies of the classic album Deep Purple and Rock from when they changed their lineup from the Mark I to the Mark II lineup, and they changed their sound from their progressive sound to their hard rock sound. We also have lots of imports, such as this Russian copy of Stormbringer, which is pretty cool. And then here we have an original UK pressing of Come Taste the Band with Tommy Bolin on guitar, who you might recognize from the fusion classic Billy Cobham Spectrum. And then here's a pressing of their 1990 studio album Masters and Slaves. This is an original pressing, which are pretty hard to come by. And we have a few copies of their classic live album Made in Japan, which has some real classics on it. Space Truckin', Highway Star, you name it. And we have some other live albums too that are a bit more rare, such as this UK pressing of Scandinavian Nights in a nice laminated gatefold sleeve in really great shape. We even have a few Japanese imports, such as New Live and Rare, still with the Obi strip in great shape, no tears or rips or anything. And we have imports from some other countries too, such as Belgian, German, US. So here's a German pressing of their singles album. And then now I'll move on and show you guys a few of their records from some of their side projects. So here we have a crate of some of the past Deep Purple members' more well-known side projects, such as Whitesnake and Rainbow. So we have a UK pressing of Reading Rock Volume 1, which has Whitesnake on it and other bands such as Twisted Sister, Budgie, UFO as well, for any of you hard rock fans. As for Whitesnake, we have plenty of imports. This is a Japanese pressing of Whitesnake at the Hammersmith, still with the Obi strip. Or how about a French pressing of the Best of Whitesnake, still in the shrink wrap. And then for some of their studio albums, we'll have North American pressings and UK pressings as well, such as Whitesnake Trouble, UK pressing original. Or some real clean copies as well, like just the self-titled David Coverdale Whitesnake album. Or some cool rarities such as this Saints and Sinners picture disc as well. With an original UK pressing to go with it. And then for their live album, Live in the Heart of the City, we have an original Canadian pressing, still sealed in the shrink wrap. And also an original UK pressing. And then for Rainbow, which featured Ronnie James Dio on vocals and Ritchie Blackmore on guitar, we have an original US pressing of their first album, or a UK pressing of the Best of Rainbow as well. And then we have copies of all their big albums, such as Rainbow Rising as well. And some rare, hard to find 12-inch singles with some picture sleeves, such as Can't Let You Go. And then of course we have their other studio album, Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. Now I'll move on and show you some of the lesser known side projects. Here I have a crate of some of the less prolific side projects of the members of Deep Purple. So we have a few Roger Glover solo albums, such as Mask here. Now this record, Green Bullfrog, has Ritchie Blackmore on guitar, and a lot of the other players on this record were still under contractual obligation to their labels, so they weren't able to be credited on the back of the sleeve. So on this original US pressing, you get some crafty credits on the back, such as Speedy on the drums, Sleepy on the bass, The Boss on guitar, and Sorry on piano. But on this later US reissue, when they were able to be credited, you get a cool blurb from Ritchie Blackmore on the front here, and then an explanation from the band on the back. A great hard rock record recorded in 1970. And before Rainbow was Rainbow, and Richie Blackmore joined, Ronnie James Dio fronted the band Elf, and we have some cool rarities from that group as well. Now here's an original US copy of their self-titled debut, Elf. And the original singer for Deep Purple, he went on to front a band, Captain Beyond. And here's that record right here. And keyboardist John Lord and drummer Ian Pace went on to create the band Pace, Ashton, and Lord. Well, they only released one record, Malice in Wonderland, and here's that. Now, Tony Ashton from Pace, Ashton, and Lord also had some of his own solo projects, such as the soundtrack here for The Last Rebel. Now, third singer Ian Gillen had quite a few solo projects of his own, and we have some of those records here, such as a UK picture disc, or a UK copy of Clear Air Turbulence. Keyboardist John Lord also did some work with the London Symphony Orchestra, some orchestral suites such as the Gemini Suite here. John Lord also had quite a few solo projects of his own, such as Before I Forget. This is an original UK copy of that album. Plenty of other imports here too, such as a German copy of Saraband. The Artwoods were a group with Keith Hartley on drums and John Lord on keyboards. And here's a copy of that great hard rock record right here, a UK copy. Or their other record, 100 Oxford Street, also a UK copy. I mentioned Tommy Bolin earlier. He died at the young age of 25, but he had a few solo projects of his own, such as Teaser. And like I said, he played guitar on the classic fusion album, Spectrum. And there's tons of Gillen stuff in here, such as this US copy of Scarbus. Or a Japanese copy of Live at Budokan Volume 2. Or another Japanese copy of the self-titled record in great shape. And Trapeze, Roger Glover was the bassist for Trapeze, and we have a few of their records as well, such as this UK original copy of their self-titled album. Or Live in Houston, 1972. We also have a US original copy, still sealed, of You Are the Music, We're Just the Band. Or a copy of Medusa, which is, we don't come by this one very often, with some great album artwork. Alright, thanks for watching you guys, and I hope to see you digging in these crates.